Hello, good evening. Burma's pro-democracy leader Aung San Su Kyi has won a parliamentary seat in historic by-elections, according to her party. The polls are being seen as a crucial test of the Burmese military government's commitment to political reform, which could eventually convince Western governments to end sanctions against the country. From Rangoon, our special correspondent Fergal Keane sent this report.
A typical morning of the late dry season, but one when freedom edged forward in Burma. 85-year-old Daw Hla was born under British rule. She's seen world war, dictatorship, and now democracy. One of thousands who've made their way to the polls across the country today. I voted for Aung San Su Kyi, Daw Hla told me. She's for democracy. That's why I love her. The pro-democracy leader was south of Rangoon in her constituency. Queues had been forming since dawn. By the day's end, Aung San Suu Kyi's seat would be won, despite her misgivings about electoral fraud elsewhere. At this Rangoon polling station, the civil servant in charge displayed an empty ballot box. Nothing suspicious here, he said. Yet for some voters, it's hard to trust the state. You don't believe the government?
Yeah, I never believe.
Why?
Why? They are not freedom. We are always suffering from their control.
But all day they kept coming, seeking their names on the voters' lists. For many, the crackdowns and jailings that defined political life in this country seem part of history now, even for ex-political prisoners. You spent 10 years in prison to get to this day.
That's right.
Are you happy with how things are going so far?
Well, even coming out of the prison I'm happy. And then this is the moment practicing democracy because it's election. So I'm more happy. Last election, you know, the political parties are also many restrictions, and the people are intimidated. They are afraid of, but not now, this time.
At the pro-democracy headquarters this evening, unofficial results were announced. Many constituencies showed their candidates winning. There was joy, though Parliament will for now still be controlled by the military. In all of this, it's vital to remember the gulf between the ambitions of the Democrats and the government, which sees the by-elections as a way of ending its international isolation. Aung San Suu Kyi, however, wants this to be a stepping stone to a national poll that will bring her party to power. Fergal Keane, BBC News, Rangoon.
Well, there are many ethnic minorities in Burma, and here with me to talk about that is Tung Kin, the president of the UK-based Burmese Rohingya Organisation UK, which represents Rohingya Muslims living in the Arakan state in Western Burma. Thanks for coming in. First of all, just tell us a little bit about Rohingya Muslims and what life is like for them in Burma.
Well, Rohingya Muslims are living in western part of Burma. They are recognized as an ethnic group of Burma during the democratic period. But today, Rohingyas are facing denial of citizenship in our own country, even though we have glorious past and establishment in our country.
Like many ethnic groups are?
No, we are differently from other ethnic groups. We are facing persecution. That's what we are we are facing denial of our own citizenship, even though we have glorious past and establishment in our own homeland. And we are facing restriction of movement, restriction on education, restriction on marriage, confiscation of land. Such a human rights violation are going on in our Arakan state where mostly Rohingya Muslims are living.
So this path to reform, as it's becoming known, is doing very little for Rohingya Muslims in Western Burma. They're not feeling that change at the moment.
Well, yes, a lot of people are saying that reform is going on in Burma, but for me, as a Rohingya, we can't see the Rohingya people are getting any Rohingya people are getting any I mean, anything development human rights on human rights issue. Instead, we are facing more persecution in our current state. And they are applying 1982 citizenship law, which is a repressive law designed by General Newin in 1982. And that law made us de facto statelessness in our own homeland. So according to that, we become stateless in our own country. In our own state, we are stateless. Today we are facing.
Do you have any hope in Aung San Suu Kyi? Do you think she could end up being a voice for you in Parliament?
Well, this is what we believe is Aung San Suu Kyi is a democratic leader. She is working for the human rights and democracy for Burma, which she is fighting on even. So we believe that she will raise all the human rights violation against the people, human rights violation where the people are facing in Burma, including Rohingyas. And we believe that also she supported Federal Union of Burma. What we want in Burma, future Federal Union of Burma, that is what we want. And in Burma is the constitutional problem, ethnic problem. So we believe that she will she will raise the voice for the ethnic people, where ethnic areas human rights violations are facing, including Rohingya areas.
Tonkin, we must leave it there, but many thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Just going to bring you some breaking news that's just coming into me. The Maritime and Coast Guard Agency has just confirmed that a search is underway for a missing person assumed fallen overboard